House where today we could have a verdict in the Chad Daybell murder case. Yesterday, there were closing arguments from the defense and the prosecution. The jury then took the case around 4:31-ish, and they deliberated for 2 hours before calling it a night. They went back to wherever they're staying. They are sequestered. They can't go home. And they plan to be back here in just a few minutes at 8 o'clock. They want to be back in the courthouse deliberating, and who knows how long that could take. We could have a verdict this morning, we could have a verdict in the afternoon, or tomorrow, or in a few days. You just don't know with these things, obviously. What we do know is that in Lori Vallow's case, the jury took 7 hours to deliberate before coming back with a verdict. Things are a little different here in the fact that Chad Daybell faces a charge of murder for Tammy Daybell, whereas Lori Vallow only faced the charge for conspiracy to commit her murder. So there's an additional murder charge for Chad. Also, this is a death penalty case. Now, during the first portion of deliberations, the jurors will not focus on death penalty. They will focus simply on, is Chad Daybell guilty or not guilty on the 7 charges that he faces? If he is guilty on those first-degree murder charges, and they do believe that there are aggravating factors, then we will go into the penalty phase, where the jury will then decide if Chad Daybell gets life in prison or death. And as part of that penalty phase, more witnesses will be called. Family members will be called. In fact, I know that late last night, several of Tammy Daybell's extended family members arrived into town. We're expected to see them maybe later today, especially if we get a verdict. Other family members, Kay and Larry Woodcock, they could present with victim impact statements. And we will hear likely on the defense side from Chad Daybell's children, who could come up and present. Not only are they victims, they're victims because their mother died of murder, allegedly, but also because their dad is on trial. And they could go on and say, please give him life in prison. Don't give him the death penalty. So that phase could be quite interesting. That could last a day. It could last several days. We just don't know how long that will last. So as you can see, you might be saying, well, where's the line? Isn't much of a line this morning, that because you had to have a ticket to get in. If you didn't have a ticket, chances are you're likely not going to get in. So don't bother running down to the courthouse if you want to get in. But there are people waiting inside the lobby that were here this morning, starting around 6 o'clock, that have tickets. They just want to guarantee that they get a seat. And I have to tell you, the day of Lori Vallow's verdict that morning, I brought donuts for everybody in line just to, be nice. And we got a verdict that day. There's donuts up there, so maybe that is my prediction or my hope that we'll have a verdict today. We'll see. So that's what's happening here at the courthouse. It's kind of a hurry up and wait game. At 8 o'clock, the jurors return. We'll go upstairs. We'll wait in the courtroom. We'll wait in the hallway. When the verdict does come down, we're told that we'll have about a 20-minute notice, maybe a little longer. It just depends. But we'll have at least 20 minutes to get the word out to let you know that we have a verdict. Tune in, and then we will carry it live. Wherever you're watching this, you can watch it live when that verdict comes down, and then we will see. If it's not guilty, Chad Daybell goes home. Chad Daybell is a free man. If it is guilty, depending on those murder charges, we could go straight into the penalty phase. If he's found not guilty of murder and guilty of the insurance fraud or the grand theft, that sentencing will happen at another date. So there's a bunch of scenarios here. And when you have a sequestered jury who cannot go home, you can tell they really want to get this going, and that's why they're coming here today at 8 o'clock. They'll be here, including the 5 alternates. Well, the 5 alternates won't participate in deliberations, but they are sequestered simply because if one of those jurors from the group gets sick or somehow can no longer serve, one of the alternates will take their place, and deliberations will start all over. Okay, did I get it all, Jordan? I think I got it all. I know there's a million things more to say, but we'll keep you posted all day long. Follow me along on Facebook, follow eastidahonews.com, and we will break in the second we have a verdict. Or if we don't have a verdict later today, we'll come on and do an update, and you can post your guesses below as far as when you think we will have a verdict, and post the date and the time that it will be announced. Not in, but announced. That's what we need to know when it will be announced, because that's the official time that we'll have. All right, thanks for watching. I'm going to head inside.